Your passions. What gets you excited? After you've identified your dreams, identify your passions. They're interrelated, but distinct. A dream is something you want to accomplish. It's bigger than life, and requires talent, hard work, and dedication. It also requires passion. Passion is what gets you out of the bed earlier than most to prepare for a marathon, write a book like this, go to night school for another degree, and any host of other tasks that require drive, grit, and heart. You can have a dream, a very modest and manageable one, but without passion, without the urge to convert your idea into a reality, it's not going anywhere. It's dead on arrival. That's why identifying your passions is so important. If you're not passionate about health, if you're not competitive, if exercise is the last thing you want to do, you're not going to have the passion to train for a marathon. Now, you can develop a passion for running, but accomplishing such a dream will be more realistic if you start with a passion to run and to win. You can develop a passion for a task or goal, but the likelihood of success of achieving your dreams improves if we work with our existing passions, as opposed to developing new ones. Of course, you may have passions you haven't discovered yet. These are different from developing passions from whole cloth. So let's start with a direct question: what gets you excited? What aspects of your job get you excited? What aspects of belonging to a voluntary bar association get you excited? What books? Television programs and movies? What type of news stories? What volunteer work? Hobbies? What conversations do you jump into? What do you post about? Your excitement level and what causes it to rise reveals your passions. Passions are your internal motivators. Discover what yours are and you'll discover a wellspring of motivation. What do you do with your free time? Free time for lawyers, that's often in short supply. But let's assume we have our share of free time. What do you do with it? Read? Exercise? Watch television? Travel? Volunteer? Write? Family time? Sports? I'm not concerned what you do. I'm curious about why you do it. Let's say you watch television. With on-demand programming, where we can watch what we want when we want, why are you watching the shows or movies you're watching? Let's say you watch science fiction. You watch the old Twilight Zone episodes like me, you watch the sci-fi movies once they hit Amazon Prime, and you highly anticipate the new Blade Runner movie. I watch these shows because I love to see how technology affects us at work, at home, and in our relationships. So I take that why and think to myself how I can apply that to work. Maybe I want to pursue a legal career in cybersecurity or assume administrative responsibilities at my firm, addressing how we can make the most of technology and stay ahead of changes that will alter how we provide legal services. So at first glance, loving sci-fi doesn't translate into improving my career. But by taking a closer look, I can start seeing the connections. Why do you participate in a softball league? Coach Little League? Are you a natural competitor? Trial lawyers are natural competitors. They argue to win. Maybe that's you. Maybe that drive provides you the constitution to fight in every case and fight to win. Often, what we're doing when we're not working provides us insight into what work best suits us. What are your hobbies? As a young lawyer, I was told to pursue at least one hobby to help me disconnect from the practice. Hobbies weren't my thing and I didn't heed the advice. Eventually, I settled on writing. It was mostly writing legal articles because that's what I knew, but soon that branched out into parenting and family advice, motivational pieces and short stories, parables disguised as science fiction. When we think of hobbies, we think of golf, working out, hunting, reading, or movies, not so much writing. I mean, as lawyers, that's most of what we do. Why would we want to use our free time to do more of it? But that was my hobby. As you can guess, there's a clear nexus between enjoying writing and using that hobby to advance your legal career. I've blogged, I've written books for lawyers like this one, I post regularly on LinkedIn and write articles. All of this increases my exposure in the legal community. What if writing isn't your hobby? How does golf or hunting advance your legal career? Well, you do these activities with others, often other lawyers or business people. You get to network while doing something you enjoy. Love reading? Start a book club with other lawyers. Love movies? Sponsor a movie night at your house with other business professionals. You love entertaining? Create networking events. Analyze how your hobbies can help you advance your career. Sometime your hobbies will reveal to you that you're pursuing the wrong career. You pursue certain hobbies because you love them. Study why you love them, and doing so will help you identify your passions. I write because I feel others can learn from my life experiences, whether it's how to be a better lawyer, or better father, or better leader. I'm driven by an altruistic need to help others avoid the mistakes I've made, and learn from both my failures and successes. Maybe you enjoy playing basketball at your local Y on Saturdays because you love competing. That urge to win can serve you well as a trial attorney. Connect the dots between your hobbies and your profession and see how you can apply your passions to your job. What do you read? What a person reads says a lot about her. First, please tell me you read for pleasure. You need to read, like how you need to breathe, eat, and relieve yourself. It is a necessity. If you haven't picked up a book in a while, find a short business book or novel and read it. See, that wasn't so bad. Better than television, right? It may take a few more books, but you'll come to agree it's better than TV. Okay, as to the rest of you who do read for pleasure, what are you reading now? Fiction or nonfiction? Biography or self-help? Reading takes time. First you have to decide on a book. Then you have to find the time to read it. It's not like watching a drama on television or a movie on Netflix. You've decided that despite what else you have going on in your life, reading a given book is more important. Think about why you read the books you read. Self-improvement? Learning? Entertainment? To spur your imagination? Reflect on the topics and issues you read about, the ideas you pursue while reading, and what you learn from it. If you keep reading biographies about musicians, why? Is it your love for their music? Is it to learn their creative process? Is it to apply their creative process to your own job? There are multiple reasons that draw us to certain books. Think through all the reasons that motivate you to read certain types of books. If you can identify why you read what you do, you can isolate the passions that make you turn page after page and which will serve you at work and at home. What news do you follow? I'm a political junkie. I consume articles and television programs on politics. I love the strategy and at times lack thereof political parties and politicians employ to promote their messages, agenda, and themselves. There is the stated reason politicians do what they do, and then there are the real reasons. Figuring out where someone is really coming from is a great skill to have in a society where everyone is trying to sell us something, including opposing counsel and his client. Getting past the messaging and the branding and the hard sell to the truth is invigorating. It's pulling back the curtain and finding there's not much to us. Whether you enjoy being informed or entertained, write down what you enjoy learning about and what you find entertaining. Do you follow an issue that is near and dear to you? Perhaps a cause with which you want to get more involved. Maybe there is a legal angle to the technology news you follow. Defining your passions and the applicability of them to your career and family is crucial, because these passions are going to motivate you to be better lawyers, spouses, and parents. Identifying the underlying reasons you read the Washington Post or watch Anderson Cooper will guide you on finding what at work and at home you want to pour your heart into. What conversations with friends get you excited? What do you enjoy discussing with family and friends? Do you talk about work? If so, what aspect of it? A challenging case? A novel legal theory? Perhaps it has nothing to do with the cases you're handling. Office politics? Office gossip? Do you have political debates? Deconstruct a favorite movie? Brag about your kids? Discuss stocks? Share your next big idea? What gets you excited reveals your passions. And as with books or news, there is not always a direct line between your conversational topics and your passions, but there is one if you look closely enough. Sometimes it is self-evident, when you always find yourself discussing certain cases you handle. Maybe every non-compete agreement case you handle is exciting to you and you want to share that with others. Sometimes, there may be an aspect of litigation you enjoy, like taking depositions, and you want to share how you secured admissions that paved the way for a summary judgment. These conversations provide a clear message as to the overlap of your passions and your career. Sometimes the nexus is a bit more tenuous, but they're nonetheless. Regular discussions about pets may reveal an interest in getting involved with the local humane society, to volunteer and possibly join their board, wherein you'll meet other professionals from the community who one day may refer you business. Often our passions, even if they're not directly tied to our career, tend to boost it. No one says you can't do good and get business at the same time. What gets you animated? We just talked about what gets you excited. Let's take that a step further. What gets you animated? What gets you angry? Gets your blood boiling? Makes you say, that's just not right? Do you just say these things, or do you take action? Do you ever address the issue? Write the powers that be? Protest? Volunteer? Do pro bono? Perhaps you have a child with special needs? My older son was diagnosed with sensory integration dysfunction as a toddler. I read everything there was about the disease and was frustrated with our medical carrier who refused to pay for most of the services he needed. I soon realized that there were a lot of other children with David's condition and many other families whose insurance didn't cover treatment. So I got involved. I joined a nonprofit that helps parents with special needs children. I represented families pro bono to help them secure services through the public school system. I wrote about it. I spoke out about it. I tried to change things because the status quo wasn't fair and compassionate. There are a lot of wrongs in the world, and your law degree, along with your writing and oratory skills, can go a long way to address them. And again, in the process of doing so, you meet other professionals along the way, who are like-minded, and who may need an attorney or know someone who needs one and will think of you to address those needs. Write it down. Figuring yourself out requires a fair share of self-exploration. Just as you wrote down your dreams, write down your passions. We just went through a series of exercises to identify what you're passionate about, what drives you. Put all your answers down in your journal, give it a day or two, go through your notes, and add some more thoughts you overlooked. Your passions are yours. Others' passions are theirs. Your passions drive you to action. Others' passions don't. That doesn't mean you can't develop new passions as you grow and mature. The passions of a law student are different from those of a young attorney with little kids, or a partner with teenage kids, or a partner who is an empty nester redefining his life and priorities with his spouse. But they have to be your passions. Not what others think your passions should be. We're all different. We were all born with different drives, motivators and passions. You have to tap into yours and work with them. If you are doing what you were placed on this earth to do, which only you can do and only you can figure out what that is, then you've tapped into your passions and you're making them work for you and for others too. Write it all down, study it, see where the connections are, and you will figure out not only what your passions are but why you have them and how they drive you.